someone walks up to you and says, "I'm not selling you an office, I'm selling you a religion," you'd probably laugh, maybe back away slowly. But in 2019, the smartest investors on the planet handed that man $47 billion, and then watched it all evaporate in 47 days. This is the story of WeWork, and it is absolutely insane. Let's start simple. WeWork rented big buildings, then cut them into smaller offices, then rented those smaller offices to freelancers and startups. That's it, that's the whole business. But here's the first twist. The founder didn't want to be a landlord, he wanted to be a prophet. Adam Neumann was a 6'5" Israeli entrepreneur, with the energy of a rock star and the vocabulary of a cult leader. He didn't pitch investors on square footage, he pitched them on elevating the world's consciousness. He told reporters WeWork's valuation could one day hit $10 trillion, not billion, trillion. He said his goal was to become the world's first trillionaire, and somehow, impossibly, people believed him. Here's why it worked. The year is 2016, Silicon Valley is on fire. Every garage startup is becoming a billion-dollar unicorn. Uber doesn't own cars, Airbnb doesn't own hotels. So when Adam stood up and said WeWork doesn't really own offices, it's a tech-enabled community platform, investors didn't laugh. They leaned in, because if Airbnb was worth $30 billion for renting other people's rooms, then surely WeWork was worth $50 billion for renting other people's buildings, right? Wrong. But nobody wanted to hear that yet. The offices looked incredible. Exposed brick, free craft beer on tap, nap pods, giant motivational slogans painted on the walls. Do what you love. Be an entrepreneur. Walking into a WeWork felt like walking into the future. Members didn't feel like tenants. They felt like they'd joined a movement, and Adam fed that feeling every single day. The man running a company worth $47 billion was also quietly looting it. Adam leased buildings he personally owned back to WeWork, charging his own company rent, collecting millions while sitting as CEO. He trademarked the word "we," and then sold that trademark back to WeWork for $6 million. His own company. He took out hundreds of millions in personal loans backed by his WeWork shares. He flew private, constantly, on the company's jet, to retreats in the Maldives, to surf trips in Australia. The board said nothing. Why? Because one man had written a very, very large check, Masayoshi Son, SoftBank, the Japanese investment giant who once lost $70 billion in the dot-com crash and called it a learning experience. In 2017, Masa spent just 12 minutes with Adam Neumann, 12 minutes, then wrote a check for $4.4 billion. He sent Adam a message afterward. In a fight, crazy beats smart. Adam tattooed that philosophy onto WeWork's entire culture. The company began buying a wave surfing company, a private school, a coding boot camp. Adam announced plans for WeLive, communal apartment buildings. WeGrow, a private elementary school where children learned about entrepreneurship. WeWork was no longer a real estate company. It wasn't even pretending anymore. And then came the IPO. The moment everything unraveled, the moment WeWork opened its books to the public started reading. In August 2019, WeWork filed its S-1, the document companies publish before listing on the stock market. It was supposed to be a triumph. Instead, it read like a financial horror novel. WeWork had lost $1.9 billion in the first 6 months of 2019 alone. It was spending $2 for every $1 it earned. Its lease obligations stretched $47 billion dollars into the future. Adam had borrowed money from WeWork. Adam had sold stock worth $700 million before the company even went public. The corporate governance section revealed Adam had supervoting shares giving him near total control. His wife had the power to choose his successor. Analysts called it the most dangerous IPO document they had ever seen. The valuation collapsed from $47 billion to $10 billion, then to $8 billion. Then the IPO was pulled entirely. 6 weeks later, Adam Neumann was fired from the company he founded. But here's the final twist, the one that makes your jaw drop. Adam Neumann walked away with $1.7 billion. SoftBank, desperate to prevent a total collapse, paid Adam to leave. They bought back his shares, covered his loans, handed him a consulting fee. The man who burned the company down got a golden parachute worth more than most countries' annual budgets. WeWork limped on, filed for bankruptcy in 2023. The office furniture was auctioned off. The beer taps went dry. The motivational slogans were painted over. So what do we learn from WeWork? That in a world drunk on disruption, a confident story beats a profitable business every single time. Adam Neumann didn't sell offices. He sold a feeling. And for a few extraordinary years, that feeling was worth $47 billion. Until the morning everyone sobered up and realized they'd been renting a desk.